So what I want to do is just at least give you like the kind of things that I look for in great solos, and hopefully it'll resonate and drive you crazy. Because that's the thing, you see, once you transcribe a solo, and if you've done it fairly musically, in other words, if you've tried to do it like working with phrases as opposed to going note to note, then you have a sense of the gestures, you have a sense of how the phrases, the melodic shapes, and how rhythmically things are going. Then it's time to have some fun. If we don't challenge and see, we'll never know what we're capable of doing. And fear is like the worst possible thing anyone in the arts can have, because it's the exploration that gets us from one place to another, you know? And we've all gone through that, right? We've all gone through that fear of the unknown, fear of like, am I gonna fail? Am I gonna not be able to do this? And, you know, it's like, boy, we could talk ourselves into some serious fear, right? It's like, well, this cat has no fear. No fear at all. He's just letting it all go. And that's what this band is about. This band is about playing what they hear, experimenting, interacting like they're one human nerve, you know, because they play so much together. And that's why this is such an amazing band to study, as well as Coltrane's quartet, because so many of the things that you think are planned are not. And it's because of that bond musically. So he's doing F sharp minor, B7, F minor, B flat 7. Right. That's the old, you got space, and it's a 2-5. We'll take the 2-5, put it in the second half of that space, and then take a 2-5 as a half step above and put it there. And then blow over that. All right? Ron's playing these like fifths in the bass. Kind of like Iron Butterfly, you know? Right? And he was really into that stuff. He was really into those etude books, like I forget the name. There's a very famous French turn of 20th century composer that wrote, you know, like the standard French, you know, classical alto saxophone. But he was into these kinds of shapes. So this is not a surprise, okay? Each situation, each day you get out of bed, it's going to be different. One day you're going to be really happy to just stay inside your little, you know, okay, I'll stay inside. And then other days you're just hearing all this wild stuff and you're just going for it. But anyway, I love looking at solos like this after having transcribed them, because it's really now that you can really savor the art, you know, and really learn from it. If you can sing it, or if you can play it on your axe, then you can observe this very same things, like, oh yeah, flat 5 this, but it's nice to have it on paper so that you can really study it and just say, okay, all right. It's a piece of art, man. It should be up in the Louvre, you know, or the Met. I mean, really, it's, and then I look at pieces of art and I look at dance, certain choreography, and I say, it's music. It's all the same. The expression, it's all the same. And it's the universality of creativity is something that, unfortunately, is in a program like this where there's so much you got to study. It's hard to integrate that. So culturally and artistically, that's the kind of food that the kind of cross-disciplinary food that we all need. You know, to remind ourselves that yes, there are other art forms. There are other people that are really pushing the envelope. Let me check it out. Let me go to the Joyce Theater and get a cheap seat and sit there and, you know, watch Paul Taylor Dance Company, right, or Twyla Tharp, or any of these great dance companies. Alvin Ailey, just like watch just absolute beauty in motion, and, you know, hear the music and the dance, you know, and just watch, you know, watch paintings dance in front of you. Just be really clear about how to practice the more, you know, structured ear training stuff. Just really be clear about how to practice it, and then what part of that little practicing area you need the most work in. So if it's half diminished chords, then just live in half diminished land for a while. Clean it up. bye. Some of the exercises will give you immediate satisfaction, gratification, like, oh, it works, I'm good, you know. And then others are going to be like, yeah, this is a slow burn, it's a process. And then one day you're going to be at a session or a gig, and suddenly you're hearing all this stuff, and suddenly you're able to hear piano voices. And like, oh man, 13th on top, and they say, man, I can hear all this stuff. What happened? You know, was it the Starbucks? You know, what happened? Well, finally, that critical mass of effort, right? That critical mass of effort that you've been putting in and busting your ass for months and months and months in the practice room and at home, it's finally, it just got up to that next level. Now you're at that level, and now you're like going, what's up here, man? You know, let me check out what's up here. Oh, shit. All right, I'm gonna hang here for a while, all right? And enjoy it. Enjoy being at that new level.